Hey, I'm Lex.
And I'm Serena,
host of the Dream Body Playbook
a
podcast.
show all about transforming your life
And your body to what you've always dreamed of.
On our show, you're going to find hella inspiring guests.
And you'll get weight loss tips galore from top pros in the industry.
And you're going to hear fitness secrets from the CCP team.
Plus, you'll get nutrition and training help with our Is It Worth It episodes, where we'll review the latest trends hitting the internet to let you know if it's actually worth your time.
Listen every Wednesday to the Dream Body Playbook.
What's up, y'all?
Hey.
Hello, welcome to the podcast. We are super excited to start doing this.
Very.
I miss podcasting. I know a bunch of people have asked, when is the podcast coming back? And now I've got an amazing assistant coach with me on the team, and
Yay.
we have time to do this. I know, yay! All right, so I think we're just going to start out with introducing ourselves a little bit. So Serena, I'll let you go first. Introduce yourself.
I'm honored. Okay, well, I'm Serena. I'm 25 years old. I live in Charlotte now, but I am from New York. So,
Yeah.
but I feel like I've always been a Southern belle at heart.
Oh, yeah.
Low key.
She came to us in Charlotte, and then she left us and was like,
Yeah.
I'm coming back home.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, no, I know that's where I'm supposed to be. So I came back. But anyways.
Yeah, let's
know,
just
like,
start
what
with
you-
let's go into one, what do we do with Carolina Core? What do you do with Carolina Core specifically? And then we also want to tell you guys a little bit more about our stories and how we got into fitness and stuff, which that's going to be a little bit more lengthy. So
Yes.
yeah.
Okay. So I'm the amazing assistant coach that you hear about.
Yes, she is.
Yeah, I basically just do client check-ins for them. I onboard the girls, make sure all client relationships are great, making sure that they are on the path to success at all times.
Heck yeah.
I also do the podcast, so
Yeah. And she helps me out a lot. So
and then as far as certifications and stuff, so I have my NASM certified personal trainer.
words.
Yes, words. Certified nutrition coach, and then I'm working on a mindset coaching certification and a women's health and hormone
We love it.
certification as well, and those should be done. I'm hoping for around March, February, April-ish, but
We're here for it. I mean, I love it. The more specialized and especially mindset work. I mean, dude, we work with mindset stuff more so than we do with even body recomp stuff. It's so much on the mindset side. And I don't think a lot of people realize that until they actually get into the coaching and they're like, oh, I understand now. I get that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then there'll be times even yesterday, one of the clients that I did a check-in for, I was like, listen, you're so much more than these little check boxes. And I was like, you need to realize that so what, you didn't check a box for a day.
Yeah.
It's
fine.
That doesn't mean you're worthless or you're not going to get to where you want to go. And I was kind of rambling, and I was like, oh God, I hope this resonates with you. And she messaged me back, and she was like, oh my God, it all made sense. And I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus.
Thank you. I'm so glad. Awesome. See, we love that. We love when it kind of clicks in the head and it's like, oh, okay. It's not about perfection. It's not about doing every single thing every single day. It's about building the lifestyle. And that's one of the reasons we wanted to start the podcast up again too. If you're new here, welcome to the Dream Body Playbook podcast. If you're an original or an OG, this used to be the Nutrition by Lex podcast. So we did want to completely rework the, not only branding, but the, reasoning behind the podcast, so to say. Because with what I was doing before with Nutrition by Lex, it was very science information. Here, throwing this at you all the time. And I wanted to have a conversation with a friend and a colleague about life and balance and how to actually get your dream body and your dream life, essentially laying out the playbook for you on how we do it and how we teach others to do it as well. So that's kind of where Dream Body Playbook evolved from. Just to introduce myself just a little bit as I'm talking. I'm Lex. Hi. I'm looking at the camera over here. If you're not seeing the video of it, it's probably on YouTube or on our Instagrams or TikToks or anything too. So we do film these as well. But I'm Lex. I am the lead dietitian and owner of Carolina Core Practitioners. And we are just so pumped to do this. I'm ecstatic, but it's just so fun. So yeah, let's kind of dive into what got us into our roles.
It's a little lengthy. So.
All right. Well, if you're coming from social media, you've probably seen my story a lot and you're probably like, okay, Lex, we get it. But I'm never going to stop talking about it because it's something that inspires a lot of people. And that's the reason I talk about it, is to help people understand that they're not alone in their situations, number one. And number two, it's okay. And it's not a weakness to ask for help. It's not a weakness to go through things like this. So I'll try to keep mine as short as possible as well, but who knows how short that will be. So growing up, I was a competitive cheerleader. I danced when I was really little, and then I got into competitive cheer. And if anyone knows anything about the competitive cheer world, there are some toxic behaviors that happen in it. I loved it. I was so passionate about it, but there was also a lot of body shaming and little skimpy uniforms you have to fit into. And then when you don't look exactly like the person next to you, you're honestly like comparing yourself all the time. So I'd like to say I can't pinpoint exactly when my like negative self-talk and disordered eating type stuff started to happen, but I'd like to say that was around the time of when I was being pushed in the direction of you need to look a certain way. And of course, Pinterest and magazines and all these things, I don't know if you guys are like our age, you probably remember like the skinny inspo boards on Pinterest. I was actually just writing up a caption for an Instagram post that I'm going to use later on about like the skinny inspo post, because it was a thing. And I think now there's actually like trigger warnings on it. If you search skinny inspo on Pinterest, I think there's like trigger warnings that pop up on it that like,
I'm going to search right now.
Yeah, I swear. I think it is. Look it up. But so that's kind of like where things started. And I just like wanted to be small. I wanted to be so skinny. I'm a tall girl. Was never the smallest girl in my friend group. I had a lot of shorter friends, more petite style friends. If you're familiar with the cheer world, I was always on the bottom and all my friends were always on the top flying around in the air. So that kind of gives you a picture of the different sizes that we were. Did you look it up?
It doesn't even pull anything up.
Oh, so it's just blank.
Yeah, like it won't even let you search it.
Perfect. There we go. So,
which is good.
Technology is coming along. And so I was always kind of like the bigger one. I was always in the 95th percentile, like as a child growing up. Like doctors were constantly telling me that I was like in the 95th percentile. Like, and so I think I just constantly from like day one was just told how much larger of a human being I was than everyone else. And in a growing phase like that, especially in like middle school and high school and stuff, that does damage to your brain.
Yep.
And so once I finally got out on my own and went to college, I began fueling myself, obviously. I wasn't being fed my parents' meals that they would home cook meals every single night. I didn't have those. I had like a student card that would swipe on like all of campus dining halls and stuff like that. And I didn't know how to fuel myself at all. And so freshman year of college, I went a little bonkers is the best way to say it. I think I gained like 25, 30-ish pounds maybe. I don't even know. I put on more than the freshman 15, we'll tell you that. And I was so uncomfortable. Like none of my clothes fit me. My face was just like so much larger. I know everyone gains weight differently, but whenever I put on a little bit of weight, like it goes straight to my cheeks. Like you can see it in my face. And so my whole face and demeanor and everything looked so different. And I was like, who is this girl? And also like my family were very health conscious. Like everyone's always kind of like wanting to look a certain way or be a certain way. And so of course, after freshman year, when I came home, it was like, whoa, are you okay? Like what's happening? Do you have something wrong? Like, and I did find out that I had celiac disease that summer. And I do think that had a big role in the weight gain, and not necessarily even weight gain, but overall inflammation that was in my body. I was so swollen, like so puffy. It was different than weight gain. It was like hard, not just like fat. And so there was a big difference there, but I found out that I had celiac disease, changed the game completely. But when I had to pull what I thought at the time was a complete food group. Because, I mean, back in 2016, it wasn't quite as talked about. I mean, it was starting to come up, but it wasn't quite as talked about. And I just started pulling all carbs because that's what I thought I had to do. Yeah. And I was like, lack of knowledge. I was studying nursing at this time. I was in the process of switching to exercise science. So I hadn't quite gotten into the nutrition side of things yet.
Okay.
Yeah. I was
didn't know you started nursing.
Oh, yeah. I started with nursing, and boy, did pathology kick my butt. It was awful. But yeah, so I didn't have that background of nutrition, and I was doing everything like the way you would when you don't have a background in nutrition. You do what the media tells you to do. Diet culture. And so I was pulling all of these carbs. And then I also went through a phase where I watched like a ton of documentaries on veganism and plant-based foods. So I decided I was going vegan too. So I was not only pulling carbohydrates, I was pulling all animal sources as well.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, I was starving.
Oh God.
I was starving. I didn't know what to eat. I didn't know how to properly fuel my body. And so I lost a ton of weight because I was restricting myself so much. I was probably eating 900 calories at most. And I was cranky. I was angry. It was just not myself. I had no energy to do schoolwork. Like I was still doing it, but I mean, I failed a class that year because I had no energy or brain power to put towards schoolwork. And so I finally was like, you reach a breaking point where you're like, screw this. I can't do this anymore. And then the binging started. Yeah. And so of course, then I put on a ton of weight that I lost plus some, which people normally do. We hear that story all the time. Yeah. I put on so much more weight, and then I began in the binge and purging cycle because I was like, I would gain weight, I would panic, I would have to get it out and avoid food at all cost, restrict, binge, circle. And so that continued for like 3 years in college. Finally, when I got home, I opened up to my parents about it and was like, look, this is not healthy. I feel like shit basically. And I just need help getting myself together. At this point too, I was studying nutrition. Well, I wasn't studying nutrition in undergrad. I was interested in studying nutrition. I knew I wanted to be a dietitian because I knew other people struggled like I did, and I wanted to be able to help them out of it. Yeah. My only problem was I needed to learn how to get myself out of it first. And so that's when I hired my coach. I started working with another dietitian, and that's when the game really changed because they did start putting me on macros. I can go on about that. I don't think it was probably appropriate for me to be put on macros at that time, but I will say it helped me understand the amount of food that my body could consume without gaining weight. Because I thought I had to eat like this little pea amount to like not gain weight. Because I was like, I said it like everyone else. My metabolism, it's broken. My metabolism's not there. I don't have one, which obviously was not the case. And so then I started feeling myself properly. I got really, really into lifting weights. I used to be a cardio queen. I got really, really big into lifting weights, and the game just changed. I saw myself not losing weight, but my physique was flipping. Like I was no longer like that skinny fat, I guess you could say. That's the best way I know how to explain it. I was toning up. My abs were popping through, my glutes were growing, my arms and shoulders were super defined, and I became addicted to it. I was like, this is amazing. Fueling yourself properly and moving yourself the proper way is game changer. And that's when I finally was like, okay, this is what I want to do with my life. It's also when I started Nutrition by Lex. I started just like documenting my Instagram account. Yeah. And so I just started documenting like when I was in an internship working with a gym here in Charlotte. And so during the internship, it was like you had to keep a journal or a log. And I used Instagram as like my journal / log because they were like, whatever way you feel like if you want to take notes and like that, or if you want to do like an actual blog on a website. And I just chose to do Instagram because it was popular at the time. I mean, it's still popular, but like it was growing a lot at the time. And I was like, hey, maybe I can just like continue this. It was motivating for me. And so that's when Nutrition by Lex started. And then once I got into graduate school and I started actually studying dietetics and nutrition and learning like more details about like, okay, the actual science behind metabolisms and things like that, it all just like fell into place. And I was like, this is it. I'm where I'm supposed to be. And so I always say that like my story, it sounds kind of like a lot at the beginning for like a young girl to go through.
It is.
But it got me to where I am today. And I'm like, okay, I get that. But it's also, I like telling people because you can come out on the other end. And like, I've not only come out on the other end, but like I'm so much farther along than I ever expected myself to be ever. And so I'm thankful for it in a way. I'm thankful that I can share my story and like help other people who are going through the same thing. Because I do know it's a very, very common story that we hear often. Yeah. So that's the, I guess, long story short. Not really short. Sorry, y'all. But I hope you guys can relate to that because it is something that not a lot of people talk about it. And we both are very real, honest, and open on our social media pages, and we plan to be on this podcast as well. So yeah, that's my story.
Thank you for sharing.
Of course. I love sharing. What's up, y'all? So we don't run ads on this podcast, and we probably won't ever. Our goal here is to share as much information and value with you as possible, with a little entertainment, of course. But with that, we need your help in getting the word out about the Dream Body Playbook. So all we're asking for you to do is send this episode to a friend that you think would really benefit from it, or share it on your social media stories and tag us. Also, one other thing we're going to be doing is giving away a $100 Amazon gift card to someone who rates and reviews this podcast every single month. So thank you in advance, and we're looking forward to reading your reviews, but we'll get back to the episode.
Yeah, no, a lot of people go through that in those phases, especially like in the time period that we grew up.
Oh my God, yes.
That's like outlines like literally every single teenage girl's life,
literally
around that time point.
I saw a TikTok talking about this, and they were like, it wasn't even just a TikTok, it was a sound, and it was like, if you're one of the, I guess, like 20s girl now that grew up with a mom that could eat a cutie and be like, oh, I'm full. And I was like, yes, yeah, I get it. Love you, Mom, if you're listening to this, but you know you do that. Yeah.
Oh, like when Victoria's Secret yoga pants were big, and it was like, you had to be a smaller medium in the yoga pants. Otherwise, you were considered fat or overweight or whatever.
Oh my gosh, yes. Like clothing sizes used to be such a thing. I mean, there's still a thing. Obviously, we have to know what size we are to think, but it varies. Like some things I'm a small, some things I'm a large, some things I'm a 4, some things I'm a 10. Like it's all over the board now because, I mean, clothes aren't just as generic as they used to be. There are a lot more variety.
Yeah.
But that used to be a thing, like, oh, what size are you? And it used to be so embarrassing. If you were anything bigger than like a 4 or a 6, you'd be like embarrassed to say your size.
Not even for me. Mine was like if you're bigger than like a 2.
Yeah. Okay.
I was just like, well, I am.
It's like, well, I am larger than that. So, I mean, my glutes would not fit in it too. So, yeah, at all. Yeah.
Okay. I guess it's my turn.
Yeah, it's your turn.
So, similar to you, I'm a tall girl. Always have been. Always will be. Always was like one of the bigger girls just because of my stature. Like I'm just a bigger statured person, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Can't change our bone structure.
Exactly. I have really long legs. Like 98% of my body is legs. So
Yeah.
Also a blessing and a curse at the same time. But
hey, some people would pay lots of money to be able to have that.
Exactly. So I love it now, but I didn't always. My family on the opposite side of things was not health conscious whatsoever. Most of a lot of my grandparents have like issues with diabetes or arthritis or things like that. And also like my aunts and uncles, like a lot of them took up in smoking and drinking and all of that stuff. So that was kind of like what I was surrounded by. And so for a time, like in, I guess, high school or middle school, high school, that's when I moved to the suburbs. So I was raised like in a city school district, but moved to the suburbs. That's when everything was like, you need to be small and this and this and this.
Yeah.
So that's when I was exposed to that. But obviously
very different atmospheres and personalities. Yeah.
Because in the city school, they didn't give a crap. Like what you were. They were just like, we're all
show
here,
up.
Like, we're kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in the suburbs, that's like what it was predominantly like I had to start like straightening my hair to fit in and all of that stuff. And I had never did any of that before. And I remember on the first day of 7th grade, I wore these bright pink skinny jeans with a white
I can picture the skinny jeans that you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about.
From Walmart, because that's where we shopped at the time. Bright pink skinny jeans, a white hoodie with like graphics, almost like little rainbow graphics on it. And then my hair was slicked back into like a ponytail because that's how I was used to dressing. But no, we were in the suburbs. It was all Abercrombie, Hollister, all of that stuff. So quickly got made fun of for that, but it's okay. And along the same lines, I also too used to think I was so fat. Like, this is going to be, well, I don't know. Should I share something really deep in the intro episode?
Give it to us.
I mean, okay. You guys asked for it. And this is something I've actually never shared with anybody ever.
Oh my gosh. Exclusive content here, you guys.
So I once carved the word fat into my thigh.
Oh my gosh.
With I didn't use a knife or like a razor or anything. It was just like a sharp object. I don't even remember what it was at the time. But you can't really see it anymore because it wasn't like super deep. But I was just really like depressed and like feeling it at the time, so I did that. But
oh my gosh,
looking back at it though, looking at pictures from that time period and stuff, like I looked like sickly. I was like 110 25, maybe 130 pounds on a good day. And I was like 5'8", 5'9" at the time. So that's pretty thin.
Yeah. Very thin.
And so then I go to college, and I was about 140 starting college. So I was like an okay weight, but still there was no working out. Like I didn't do a lot of sports. I mean, I did for like the social aspect, but it was never to be in physical shape.
Right. It was like, this is fun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And like friends.
Which is
like,
the way it should be.
Exactly. Like I just wanted to make friends and have fun. Right. I hated running. I hated gym.
Girls, same. God. I like would act sick on the days you had to run the mile.
Yes. Like, yes. Oh my God. Literally like towards the end, especially like of high school, I would just come up with the most random bullshit excuses to sit out of gym class. I was
Everyone
just like,
probably
I'm
knew
not
it was
doing
bullshit.
this. Like I would write that I had my period, so I couldn't go swimming.
Yep. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
I was like, I hate this. Okay, so boom, fast forward, I'm in college. I started drinking a lot because again, that's what was modeled to me, like in my childhood. Like, cool, it's fun to drink, blah 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 blah.
Yep.
And so I did that, and then I was just eating a bunch of crap, like whatever. And when I would get drunk, especially like coming home from the club or whenever, that's when I would eat like a crap ton. Yeah. I'd be like, I'm so hungry, like blah blah. When really, I'm probably not that hungry. I just
late night munchies.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
So put on some weight there. I don't remember how much.
Not only just the munchies too, but like the alcohol consumption as well is, I mean, that's that definitely contributed to my college weekend as well. So yeah,
absolutely. Cause you're just drinking so much. Like there, like the times that you get like blackout drunk.
It ain't low calorie. And even those White Claws now, you guys, even though it just says 100 calories on the back, I know you ain't just drinking one. Right. You're drinking like multiple ones, like half your calories weight in White Claws. Yeah.
Yeah, empty calories, pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
Top that with all the calories from... I went to school in Niagara Falls, so there's literally basically nothing available. And there was one spot that was open for 24 hours called Frankie's. And it was pizza and donuts and, like, subs and stuff. So, boom, drunk, pizza.
Yep. That's perfect after club. Yep. Gotcha.
Or the little microwave mac and cheese things.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. People used to set those on fire in our dorm rooms all the time. It's like, why did you forget to put water in it? Like,
fire alarm, 2:00 in the morning. Somebody burnt the mac and cheese again.
Yep. All the time.
Okay, so fast forward, getting a little deeper for a second. Sophomore year, I started rugby, but then I met a man, which I got involved with, and it was like a very shortly after turned into a very like abusive situation. Not physically, not until the end, but mentally and emotionally. A lot of like name calling, degrading statements, all of that stuff. And so he like always had a thing for like girls' butts. And so for me, I internalized that, and I was like, well, maybe if I got a bigger butt, he would like me more.
Yeah.
So
we could do a whole episode on that.
We should.
Oh yeah.
So I started going to the gym to try to work on my butt, but that's all I would do. Just like squats, little whatever Instagram workout I saw, anything like that. And then I had to eat a lot, obviously, to grow my butt. And so I was eating a lot. And again, alcohol, not enough sleep, because actually manipulators and abusers use sleep deprivation a lot of times to control you. And so that was one of the things that he did. He probably didn't mean to do it. Well, actually, no, he did. But
I was say he probably definitely did.
Yeah,
he knew what he was doing.
It was that. So
yeah.
Anyways, fast forward. That lasted for like 4 years. So basically my entire college career.
Yeah.
At the end of it, I was like 200 pounds. I think the heaviest I probably ever was like 205, but I didn't know it because at that point I refused to like step on the scale at all.
Avoid at all cost situation.
Yeah. But you could tell like I was just so inflamed, so bloated all the time. I did think kind of similar to you, like, oh, let me go like plant-based or whatever. But my reasonings were a little bit different. I just stopped liking the taste of meat. Yeah. So I eliminated chicken and turkey and pork and all that stuff. I didn't really eat pork or beef anyways, but I eliminated all that, and I just ate fish and mostly plant-based stuff. But I didn't know what I was doing at the time, so I was just overeating by like a lot. And I had a desk job at the time, so I was very sedentary.
A lot of us can relate to that.
Yeah. So everything kind of compiled into one. Boom. Led to the weight gain. COVID happened. I was working actually at the Dowd YMCA uptown Charlotte at the time, and I really found a home like in the gym there because I started to use it as like an escape space from the relationship and just to like clear my mind and make friends here.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, well, like I'm gonna start working here. So I started working there on the fitness floor, and then they were gonna pay for me to get my CPT certification.
Oh, love that.
So started working on that, but then COVID happened. I was like, okay. And then I went back to New York to be with my family because I was like, okay, either be with abusive man for the whole time or be with my family.
Yep.
So I literally went to with my family.
I'd be booking a flight the next
Yes.
minute. Yeah.
So I spent like a good 2 months up there during COVID. And me and my brother I really just started studying all this stuff, like
Love it.
my CPT and my CNC at the same time. Because I was like, if I'm going to do this, I need to do it right.
Yeah.
And I need to learn it for myself before I try to do it for other people. And so my brother and I would just work out like during the day. And then I would like make sure all my meals. That's when I started tracking and like understanding my macros and all of that good stuff. And then, yeah, from there, I lost like 40 pounds that summer.
Wow. Yeah.
Like into that summer. So it was like May to like September.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, ever since then, I've just been continuously trying to like learn more about it, improve, like make sure I'm good to go. And then
I love it.
Yeah, so it's been a lot. It's been a journey, but like you said, I'm thankful and grateful that I went through it because then I wouldn't be where I'm at today. So
yeah, no, that's super inspiring. I'm sure there's a lot of little bits in your story that a lot of people can relate to.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, this kind of stuff isn't talked about a lot.
Exactly.
And the fact that we are willing enough to share our stories, hopefully it gives someone a safe space to, if not even just like listen to the podcast and feel more comfortable knowing that they're not alone, or also like reach out to us. We're more than happy to talk with you and be kind of like that listening ear if you need that and you don't have that in your life. So yeah, just like shoot us a message on Instagram if that's something that you feel inclined to do. But the COVID thing, like we both kind of like took COVID and created something out of it. Like you dove into fitness and made that pretty much your passion and learned as much as possible during it.
It's really my life now.
Yeah, literally. I did the same with Carolina Core, which it wasn't Carolina Core at the time. It was Nutrition by Lex, but I officially like started an LLC, started taking clients, started learning business stuff. And like without that time period of us pretty much having nothing to do and like giving us that break to actually spend time on just like something fun and that we're passionate about, and now it's our careers, like how freaking awesome is that?
Yeah.
I think about it all the time, and I was talking to my mom the other day. I was like, think about where I would be if COVID didn't happen. And she was like, you'd probably be like working in a hospital somewhere. And I was like, yeah, I would be miserable. Like it would be awful.
I probably would have been dead. Like maybe in the literal physical sense. We don't know, because maybe I wouldn't have had the courage to end that situation, and it could have escalated or something like that. You know what I mean? Oh my gosh, so if you guys are really loving and relating to this conversation and want to continue to learn more about this topic and countless others, listen up. This is for you. We want to give you access to our free community of women on similar paths to you. Shoot us a DM on Insta with the word Facebook and we will get you in there ASAP. That's like really,
girl,
like scary to think about, but I honestly don't know.
Oh my gosh.
I have no clue.
That's big. Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes.
I know I'm dropping bombs on episode 1. I'm sorry.
I was like, I wasn't expecting that, Serena, but I love it. No, seriously, that's huge. And thanks for sharing that with us, because I mean, going through COVID, I know for a fact it ruined a lot of shit for a lot of people.
Yes.
I mean, I was supposed to be spending that summer in freaking Europe doing my thesis, but that didn't work. And I know there was a lot of things that happened like that. But if you really do look at what you did during that time, if you actually use that time wisely and put it towards yourself, I hear stories like ours a lot. And they're like, oh yeah, I did this and now I'm doing this. Like, I truly do think that was like kind of God's way on the earth of like, everyone needs to take a freaking break. Yeah. And really look inward and figure out what you're doing with your life, because what you're doing is not on the path that you need to be right now. And so I do truly believe that was a period of time that the world needed, and some people used it wisely and they had positive outcomes from it, and some people did not. And that just kind of sets the stone for like the future going forward. I pray we don't have to do that again, but I'm thankful for the time we had.
And I mean, it was an awful situation for a lot of people, and that's we're not negating or taking away from that at all.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
I just wanted to throw that in there.
Just for sure. Yeah, no, we're not taking away from it at all, but there were a lot of other positive outcomes that came from it as well for people who did dive into self-worth and growth and just learning during that time. I mean, I did a lot of Netflix and like movie time during that time as well.
Same.
But I mean, there's also you have so much time in the day. Like that's when TikTok became a thing. And like, would we be on TikTok today if that never happened? No, probably not.
TikTok COVID was so fun.
Oh my gosh. I know, like the Tiger King stuff. And
oh my God.
It was
so
the
great.
best. The walking, the going on walks and stuff.
Yeah, because people were just making random videos because they were bored at home.
Oh, it was hilarious.
Did you ever see that guy that him and his family did like the Olympics, like the Summer Olympics or whatever? No, so every single day, he actually lives in North Carolina.
Does he?
Yeah. But every day they would like make all these different Olympic games up to see like who in their family like would win the game. There was like 6 people I think that would compete. It was actually really entertaining.
Hilarious. That is so funny. Oh my God. That's so funny. But yeah, okay. Great conversation about our stories. So let's kind of pivot a little bit and talk. I want to talk a little bit about like what we do with our clients, so that people kind of have a good understanding of, we're talking about our careers and we're talking about where it led us. Okay, like what is that? What are we actually doing? So we do work one-on-one with clients, and we specifically work on weight loss clients or someone who has a specific physique goal. It doesn't always have to be weight loss. We do have a couple girls who are like, hey, I really want to grow muscle. And I mean, we have this new client that we're onboarding this week who wants to get into powerlifting, which I freaking love because it switches things up every once in a while. It's not just like the same type of protocols going out, but we have, like I said, one-on-one, but we also have a very tight group atmosphere in it. I would say like our private community of our one-on-one girls is fabulous. Everyone supports each other, throws in little inspirational quotes. Loved that one the other day. We're always just trying to encourage people in there, but what it looks like to kind of work with us, and you can like chime in whatever you think I'm like missing out here, but you pretty much have contact with your main point of contact coach daily, if not multiple times a day and stuff, because there are things that pop up in your day-to-day life outside of like your training plan or your nutrition. Things along the lines of like, I got really crap sleep last night. I have no idea how I'm going to make it to the gym today on this level of energy, or something stressful in your family happens, or something stressful happens at work and you're just feeling super overwhelmed. I always kind of joke and say like, we're kind of like therapists as well, which we love, but that is really the case, because I tell people all the time, we're not just giving you a meal plan. We're not just giving you a training plan. We're giving you a step-by-step playbook. Play onto this. Playbook to transforming your life as a whole. It's not just the one-off things. It's a full lifestyle switch.
Right. And especially, I know for me, I've been doing this with my clients, but it's not only that, but it's also more of like a mentorship. I feel like a little bit. Like I've literally been talking with some of my clients this week about like books and their favorite foods and things to read. Like it's just like building that relationship with them and letting them know that we're there for them and just we support them in this. And I think that is something that's really, really important, that kind of sets our program apart from other fitness programs that might be out there.
Right, exactly. And so that whole mentorship aspect of it, I would say, is probably like the meat and potatoes of the program. A lot of people don't really know that that's what they're looking for when they start looking for a coach, because they're initially looking for like that weight loss and that transformation that they want, which will get you there. I say it all the time. That's easy. That's the math and the science part of it. It's the mentorship and the mindset work that's the hard part, that a lot of people don't really realize that that's really what they need, and that's what they end up getting inside of our program. We also work on really specific things along the lines of hormonal health, as Serena said at the very beginning. Yeah, she's getting her certification in women's health and hormones, and then also working on gut health. So me on the dietitian side, I'm working on training Serena, and as well as anyone else that comes on our team and stuff on gut health stuff, how to properly go into a protocol on working with gut health based off of different symptoms and things along those lines. Again, every single person that comes in our program gets a different plan. There's not one that looks the exact same, because every single person needs something different. I'm sure you guys have heard it before, but what I need is very different than what Serena needs. What Serena needs is very different than what her mom needs. It's just all over the place. So that we do get really nitty gritty on the details of what's already going on in your life. And I've also been saying this a lot lately too. I don't want to take your lifestyle and throw it out the window and like bring in our program, because I think that's a really big fear that a lot of people have, right? I mean, I want to take your lifestyle and mold it to what you need to reach your goals.
And I was actually just telling one of my clients that this morning. She was talking about how she felt like she failed and all this other stuff that I'm not going to get into. But basically, I just told her, I was like, remember that this is something that we are adapting to your lifestyle and not the other way around.
Yeah.
We just want to make this the most sustainable for you. And so we're obviously giving you recommendations based on what we know works and what we know is going to get you there. But ultimately, at the end of the day, this is for you to have a sustainable, enjoyable, happy lifestyle.
That's it. Literally. Yep. And working to get the confidence level and the feeling comfortable in your own skin, because I know how easy it is to feel like you're in someone else's body when you're uncomfortable in your own skin. That is one of the biggest things that we also work on is like, hey, we want you to walk into a room and be so freaking confident that you just like light up the room. And it doesn't matter if you're a size this, you're a size that, blah, 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 doesn't matter. I want your mental aspect to get there as well. Obviously, the physical changes and stuff are going to help you get there because that's kind of what you're looking for. That's what you have your head set on. But like I said, that's the easy part. We'll get you there. It's the hard part working on the back end of things.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you could have a dream physique, but if you haven't changed your thoughts around that and your beliefs around that, then you're going to still feel the same way.
Yep. I love that you brought that up because that's something that I used to struggle with was, okay, I'd say I need to lose 10 pounds. I just need to lose 10 pounds. That's it. Just 10 pounds. I would lose that 10 pounds and then I'd be like, okay, I can go another 10 pounds. Just another 10 pounds. There was never an end to it. It was always more because I was chasing after something that wasn't physical. It was all mental. And I think that's a big thing that people struggle with and they don't really realize that they're struggling with it until someone points it out and they're like, oh, I think you're right. And we're like, yep. There we go. Yep. We'll start working on that. Yeah. Well,
this has been so good.
This has been fun. I hope you all have enjoyed this episode. We'll probably wrap this first one up. We're going to be doing a bunch of different types and styles of episodes. We're going to hopefully bring on guests as well. That'll be really fun. We're going to work on getting some guests on. As you heard in the intro, we're also going to do Is It Worth It episodes. So we're going to be staying on top of like all of the fun trends that you're seeing. Probably mainly popping up on TikTok, right? Yeah. One's popping up on TikTok that we see a lot. And we'll kind of do like mini episodes on those to discuss like, is it worth your time or is it going to waste your time, energy, and your money? And we don't want you doing any of that.
Yep.
Yeah. And if there's anything that you guys want us to talk about, shoot us a message on Instagram. My Instagram is Nutrition by Lex. The Carolina Core Instagram is Carolina Core _practitioners. And then Serena, do you want to home yours?
Yes, it's Serray. So it's _SERRAYY.
Perfect. And we'll probably work on getting a podcast Instagram. Maybe. I don't know if I want another account.
That's a lot of work.
Oh, God, it's a lot of work. So we might not. We never know. But I just wanted to remind you guys that we are going to start doing a giveaway at the end of each month.
Yes.
At the end of each month, we're going to give away a $100 Amazon gift card to those of you who rate and review our podcast. Right now, this is the first episode. There's not a lot of rating and reviews right now. So you
Share
have
with your friends.
Really good chance of winning $100. And just we appreciate on any of the shares that you feel inclined to. If there's someone that you really think would resonate and really understand our conversation or needs to hear our conversation, definitely send it to them.
Yep. Absolutely.
It's like one of my favorite things when one of my friends like sends me a podcast to listen to. I'm like, oh, you were thinking of me.
Yes.
And then, yeah, right. It's like you're thinking of me and then you listen to it and you're like, wow, you really like knew I needed this.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's nice.
Favorites.
Awesome. All right, y'all. Well, we will talk to you guys next week. We're hopefully the game plan. We will update you guys. But the game plan is to put out a new episode every Wednesday, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's a good game plan.
Yeah. So we will talk to you guys next Wednesday.
Have a great week, lovies.
Bye.